Hey yo, it's random pop culture music here once again, Mr. Man, we're reading you guys on Wrestling Trust Sources channel. On my social media platform that's such as BeastTube, Brady on Odyssey, and of course Twitter, Instagram, those typical ones, and of course Reddit and Minds, all those social media platform sites, just in case the channel gets shut down, terminated, DDoS, hacked, God forbid shadow ban, God forbid deleted, what have you. Anyways, sorry I'm a little bit out of breath. I just came back from the gym, so I'm a little exhausted right now. 2.5, 3 hours on that freaking treadmill and half hour doing like freaking like sets and reps and all that shit for my arms are sore as freaking hell. I haven't done that in like a month and a half. The reps and all that shit was not fun. Anyways, at least it's about down below cards on side. I'm just gonna jump into it. I might talk about 2 or 3 other articles on the side. One of them had to do with this weird ass, like I thought it was a movie at first, like Cocaine Bear, but it was actually something about a squirrel that has a pew 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 pows. Whatever, I can't say on YouTube, unfortunately. Another one had to do with real old school nostalgia, like iconic, like dude I used to watch almost every weekend or weekday night, right after I was getting out of elementary, middle school all the time, which is a Wheel of Fortune host. He's going to be retiring pretty soon, unfortunately. Another piece of my childhood's going to be dead pretty soon next year, unfortunately, because it's the last final season. He did it for 41 seasons, though, like almost 4.5 decades. That's a long ass time to be a game host of the game show co-host or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's probably time he hangs up the microphone for good, unfortunately. And then the third one, I forgot what the third one was about, but I'll get to it when I see it. Which ones get in? Persona 3 Remake, Remaster, Reloaded, official retailer, Xbox Game Showcase. Even though it came out in the SummerGamesfest when John Keeley was talking about it, but they showed it 2 days ago, so there's that. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hope the music is awesome like usual. Spike Chunsoft, they always do a really good job with the Persona music games. Don't let me down. It's got to be real nice. I never played the first 2 Personas. I played a little bit of the 4th one. The 5th one, still got to play the freaking games for those. I watched all the anime for the 5th one, but that's about it. All I freaking got from it. Sorry, I get these copyright claims or whatever. The run the jewels we looked up from the early mid-2000s rap hip-hop from Japan. Alright. Okay. Oh, it's the guy from Persona 5. I remember him. That creepy old man that has the 2 like twin daughters or twin sisters or whatever. And it's actually one giant goddess entity and they put them together. Oh, that's it. Well, that was fast. Play it day one. Same showcase, I know. Anyways, yeah, fast thoughts, views, and opinions. This is, wow, barely a minute old. A minute long. It was very, very short. Quick thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Atlus Spike Chunsoft. Never cease to amaze me when it comes to that absolute banger, a slap. It's a hit. It's a bop. Gives me good energy vibes. I was vibing to it at the last 3-4 seconds there because, even some like Tony Hawk Pro Skater Underground, sort of like Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2, American Wasteland, sort of underground rap hip hop you would hear back in the days in the 80s, or mainly more in the 90s, 2000s. In the 80s, I think it was still real clean hip hop. In the late 70s, early mid 80s, until mid late 80s, early 90s came around when they started using profanity and obscenities and fucking girls on the twat and a pussy, fuck this bitch, get this hoe money, all this type of things. It's when it happened in the late 80s, early mid 90s at the time. That's when it started getting big. And then all the gangster rap shit was real big from the early mid 2000s. Actually, no, late 80s, early mid late 90s, and again early 2000s. And then by the time the late 2000s, early mid 2010s came around, that stopped being a thing completely. So I guess my personal opinion, I think it was 50 Cent or The Game. Those are the last 2 people that like did gangster rap and hip hop. And after those 2, we didn't get any no gangster rap or hip hop artists after that. Unless we did, and I just didn't keep up with it once I started going to community college afterwards. Anyways, enough about my ass. The second thing I'll say about it is, yeah, the gameplay looks nice. It looks like it's going to be a lot of visual novel like the Persona 5 game was, and all the Persona 5 like games that came after that. And then probably Persona 1, 2, and 4 are like that as well. So there's that. And I wonder if they're going to get any cameo appearances from Persona 1, 2, 4, and 5. I wonder if they're going to get a small quick cameo appearance from one of the little like furry anthropomorphic like furry characters. Like they did with with most of the freaking Smash Bros games. There's a shit ton of those. And Monster Hunter, and what else? Digimon, I guess. And the one I just reacted to yesterday, even though it came out like 4 or 5 days ago, the Pal World thing. And one other quick thing. Wasn't that many waifu anime looking girls into it. There was only like 1 or 2 that I saw. Maybe it wasn't that big of a focus at that time for Persona 1, 2, and 3. Maybe it was. It just wasn't mainstream until I guess Persona 5 came out. It started going mainstream. When anime waifus and waifus started getting real big on social media platforms and all that shit. So maybe it was like before that started getting big. That was just probably the stuff you would see at conventions. Or maybe like theme parks. Or maybe Disneyland. Extremely rare if you would have seen it there. Or Anime Expo at that time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Gameplay, I don't know what to say about the gameplay. It kind of looks the same. It's kind of like dull, a little bit boring to me in my personal opinion. I hope it's as good as Persona 5 was, because the gameplay for that show was chef's fucking kiss, even though there's a lot of dialogue talking, but that's the whole thing about a JRPG and a visual novel especially. It's a lot of talking and commentary over it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for now. I'm done here. I'll talk about the 3 articles. I want to talk about the headlines I've been wanting to discuss. Also, before I keep going real quick, just in case you guys didn't notice, I ended up getting a fresh-ass haircut. I forgot to mention that for the past 4 days while I was doing reaction videos. I only got this bitch done, thank God. Been waiting to do that for the past 4 months since it started getting thicker again. Anyways, like I said before, I say it again, if you were an 80s kid, maybe if you were a 70s or 80s kid, not just a 90s kid like I was back in the day. You remember watching a lot of Wheel of Fortune or the 2 other big, iconic-ass freaking game shows that were big at that time, like Jeopardy, Price is Right, Weakest Link, Hollywood Cross Circles, and what else? The other 2 that were kind of semi-big, but they weren't that as ginormously popularized, like Double Dare 2000 for kids. That was decent, but it wasn't like the best one I saw. The 2 that I grew up was on Nickelodeon for sure. It was the Global Guts one, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and Figure It Out. Those were the coolest game show freaking hosts, or the game shows I used to love watching when I was a 90s kid back then. And they probably made remake remasters for it and reboots of it, for the future versions for Gen Zs or maybe Gen Alphas. Figure It Out. Maybe they probably like something a lot better compared to my millennial generation, but this one hurts to see it. I wonder if that chick Vanna White's still going to be on there, because that lady's got to be like 60, 75 years old. She's probably older than my mom's. As Wheel of Fortune star Pat Sajak announced his retirement from a long-running game show. It's an end of an era. This comes from Adam Holmes a day ago almost. So, and this guy has like millions and millions of bucks already. He should have retired like in the mid-late 2000s at least. Back when TV and TV cable was a lot more bigger at the time. As although Wheel of Fortune has been in the air since, reaching back to as far as 1975, wow. Pat Sajak has been co-hosting Nighttime syndicated version with Vanna White since 1983. Wow. It's impossible. So about 6-7 years before I was even existent. That's pretty wild. It's possible to not think of the long-time running game show without Pat Sajak immediately coming out to mind. Will soon need to get started doing so. That's because he announced that he'll be retiring the Wheel of Fortune following. I wonder if, just a quick thing, I'm not throwing allegations or speculations, but ever since 2016 or early mid-late 2017, when that whole thing started a couple of years ago, that Me Too movement was happening, a lot of these Hollywood actresses and music artists were coming out of the closet saying, oh, my manager did this, he hurt me, he assaulted me, and he did real naughty things to me by force, like, I don't know if any of that shit was even real or fake, depends, because it's the one thing Hollywood actors and music artists are fucking trained to do. They're trained to freaking lie and cheat and freaking, what's it called? Manipulate people. But even though as much as I like some of them, some are absolutely spectacular, badass, amazing actors and actresses, but at the same time, I know back in my mind, a lot of them are evil as fuck. My personal opinion, but hate to accept that too. Somewhere I grew up with so many years watching movies from them and doing voice acting for us. So that hurts to say it, but fortunately, that's the truth in my personal opinion. But I don't know if he retired now because, I don't know, some female host from the past a long time ago, from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, or one of his female producers or people in the background, the script writers or the production people, the audio peoples, and all the costume and makeup designer people that do his stuff or whatever, Pat Sajak, maybe one of the women was going to come out and make an allegation against him or something. That's why he decided to retire, or he was going to keep going until he was almost dead. So he was like 85, 90 plus years old. I hope that wasn't the case. Hopefully he just went on, retired on good terms. And then this one's pretty funny here. Game about armed squirrel that sports an amazingly absurd trailer. The latest trailer for Squirrel with the pew-pews firearms. One of the most unusual upcoming games debating soon surprised with us with a dramatic approach. This comes from GamePressure.com. Links to description box down below if you want to read it yourself. So there's that. Yeah, so what else? It's worth noticing that it's not what you see in the trailer. That's a big step forward from the first trailer for the squirrel with a gun, but both visual and gameplay has been refined. Also, this is not the first time this game comes out. I remember seeing a game like this that had like a snake or a snail or a turtle or something like that, or a bunny rabbit where you had to go all through New York City, or a rat. I think it was a rat or a mouse from New York City. You had to play as that from a Steam game a couple of years ago. It came out, and you had to keep running away from people, from big giant pigeons, from eagles, from tigers and lions, or they end up killing you the second they touch you. I remember some sort of Steam game that got popular with that a couple of years ago. I don't remember what it was called, but it was some sort of rat simulator that lived in New York City. They had to survive all this shit that was trying to kill them. So maybe it's inspired by that. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember. I'll leave the links to the description box below from the Wiki, Tubi, or whatever, or Wiki fandom. It says Disney card. This one, I really don't like talking about Disney that much at all. People have become a shit show. Even before the whole 2014, 2016, the whole Gamergate, Commentsgate, Watergate, before like fucking, what's it called? Dramageddon. Even before fucking Mr. Trump, Orange Man, aka Donald Dracula Trump, as I call him, or Bagel Trump. Even before he became president, that shit was starting to get all crazy. Even when that dude Obama was still president the last 2 years before he ended up not being the president after that. They were always super evil. I remember in 2009 or 2010 when I woke up a lot to alternative media, truth, and community stuff. They completely soul crushed everything I used to love about Disney back in the day. Before that, before I was like 20 or 21 at the time, shit hurt. It hurt a lot to know a lot of their evil, satanic, Freemason, devil worship, Illuminati shit that they were a part of. That was a real big punch to the gut the year I realized that, man, honestly. I'm not sure who it was, but I don't know. It was even before, like, or actually, no, right after I knew who AJ Jones was, too. I think it was, ACAU that told me, or Dabu7, or another super old school truth to do, like May-K or something. I don't know. It was a hard one, super hard ass pill to swallow. So it says, Disney card game gets sued for allegedly copying rival's design. The Upper Deck company accuses La Carna, designer of the theft of intellectual property. This comes from Kotaku. I'm not going to read it all. This comes from Isaac Colbert. Still got a credit to him. You know, I freaking hate the living shit out of the Kotaku nowadays and Polygon, because all they ever talk about is bullshit ass crap, politics, and agenda. They have nothing to do with video games at all nowadays, like they used to. I don't know, in 2008 and 9. That's all I gotta say for now. Links to the description box down below to all three of these articles. The first one was sad. The second one was funny as heck. The third one, not really crazy about it at all. I'm not even crazy about stuff like Magic the Gathering. I don't know if it's Magic the Gathering or Disney. One of those two tried to sue each other, but Wizards of the Coast is complete fucking me out of that shit garbage, you know. This is complete trash. It's sad. That's all I gotta say for now. I'm not here. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, families, and hobbies and buddies. I'll soon see you guys today, midnight, wherever you're at in the world, the universe out there. I'm drinking some movie at the same time. Don't think reckless. Stay tuned for more future content channel. Good video image news. I'm on news, reviews, drama news, YouTube drama news, once in a while TikTok drama news, celebrity music artists or celebrity gossip once in a while I talk about in this channel. Of course, reaction view segments on this channel like you're seeing right here. Peace out, my star heart, ladies and guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Don't drink smoke at the same time. Don't take any of the jab or the freaking nanobots or the poison or the freaking hydrogel or any of that creepy acid, scary, poisonous shit. Later, I'm gone. See you either Saturday or Sunday, because Friday I may not be able to do a video. So, goodbye. Later.